What up? It's your boy Wall Street Hit My Line, back again, hitting your line. And today I want to talk about one more trade before the NBA starts back up. I'm recording this on Tuesday night, and tomorrow, Wednesday, there is one game, the Lakers playing the Hornets in LA. And then the NBA season will come back in full swing to finish out this 24-25 NBA season as we move into the playoffs, in mid-April. So I want to talk about this one last trade. I know there's trades I missed this year, but next year I promise I'm going to be better. I'm going to try to cover every single trade. It was just hectic this year, and I work a job, so trying to come home and then cook dinner and do all these things and then record a video, it's a little tough, but that's no excuse, man. So I'm gonna hold myself accountable, and next year I'm gonna try to give you guys every single trade, I promise. But I wanted to get all the major ones out of the way since we had a little break because of the All-Star game. Figured I'd get some of these out, just giving you my analysis on the trade. So this trade that I want to talk about was a trade in which the Clippers, the LA Clippers, sent away one of their fan favorite players, Terance Mann. And they sent him away to the Atlanta Hawks along with Bones Hyland, who was an internet sensation. Go look up Bones Hyland, schooling dudes on some street ball stuff. It's crazy. But Clippers traded Terance Mann and Bones Hyland to the Atlanta Hawks for Bogdan Bogdanovic and 3 second-round picks. So this happened on trade deadline day, February 6th. And I was just shocked because I didn't think the Clippers would ever trade Terance Mann. Like, Terance Mann was just like a staple, right? And, him and Amir Coffey, I was like, these dudes are never going to not be on the Clippers. And I like that. I was like, the Clippers are kind of, an odd team. They're in a major market, but they're, always been held kind of secondary to the Lakers. They've never won a championship. The whole experiment with Kawhi and Paul George hasn't really gone right. You have James Harden now, who's, still kind of doing his thing and, keeping the Clippers, somewhat relevant. They've found themselves in a decent spot in the standings. They're probably going to be a playoff team. But Terance Mann was a big part of that. And I just thought it was very interesting that they wanted to part ways with him. And the craziest thing to me is giving up Terance Mann and Bones Hyland, who actually, Bones Hyland got waived by the Hawks as soon as he got received, which I also thought was crazy, but I'll get into that later. But they sent Terance Mann and Bones Hyland to the Hawks for Bogdan Bogdanovic and 3 second-round picks, right? And I think it's a decent haul for the Clippers. I think the Clippers really made the most out of this trade, but I don't really know if Bogdan Bogdanovic really fits with what they're doing. I don't know if he really helps. I think losing Terance Mann is going to do way more in terms of making things more difficult for the Clippers than getting Bogdan helps, right? So I think it's a net negative for the Clippers. But let's move to Bones Hyland. I don't understand why the Hawks waived him, basically immediately once they received him. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, honestly. And it's just kind of confusing. I don't know why they would do this. I mean, Bones has only played 20 games so far this season. He's not performing as well as he once did, but he was really like a sensation early on in his career. He was backing up Jamal Murray on the Nuggets and was doing his thing. I don't know if there's something going on behind the scenes. He's always been like a volume shooter, only has shot above 40%, one season in his career, and that was his rookie year. So he's kind of at a downward trajectory. He, scored 10 points a game his rookie season with Denver in the 21-22 season. The next season got traded from Denver to the Clippers, averaged nearly 12 points a game that season. And then last year with the Clippers, 6.9 points, only appeared in 37 games. And then this year only appeared in 20 games, 7.2 points per game. So I don't know if there's something going on, if he's not putting as much work in behind the scenes. I doubt it. I mean, I think he's a good player, and he's still, fairly young. He's only 24 years old. So I think this is an opportunity here for another team to come swoop him up and see if he can contribute to your team. I mean, even if he can't contribute this year, I mean, I still think he's got a lot of potential. He's got to put on a little more weight. He's 6'2", 173 pounds, plays the point and the two. So, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I thought that was shocking. I was like, you give up Bogdan Bogdanovic and 3 second-round picks as the Hawks. I'm like, you might as well keep both of these players, but, I'm not sure. Maybe there's some sort of financial implication. The financial side of basketball is the side where I need to get a little bit better at. I'm not going to lie, but that's obviously a big part of a lot of these trades. When you see a trade and it doesn't really make sense, most of the time it's because it's for a money reason. And, with the whole second apron stuff going on now, it's like, there's so many different trades that are being made solely for financial purposes. So I'm not sure what's going on there. And then I think, to circle back to Bogdan Bogdanovic, he's having the worst season he's ever had in his career. Is averaging 9.8 points per game this season, a career low. And is playing the lowest amount of minutes he's ever played, 24.6 minutes per game. Hasn't started a single game so far this season. And I think he's going to be a sixth man for the Clippers, but is he going to accept that role? He's played 2 games for the Clippers so far, played 21 minutes a game, 7 points a game. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I certainly think he can contribute to a team. He's also older than I thought. I mean, I thought Bogey was like 27. He's 32. I just didn't realize how much older he was. So I don't know. I think this is frankly, I think both teams won. I just think the Hawks giving up 3 second-round picks to trade Bogdanovic is pretty crazy. But, I don't know if I can really say they won if they, the Hawks are waiving Bones Hyland as soon as he gets there. Like, Terance Mann, I love Terance Mann. One of my, favorite, role players in the league. Guy defends super hard, shows up in the playoffs, and, gets rebounds. He's a really good player. I remember something that I thought about a lot was he really looked up to Rajon Rondo growing up, and I think that's just very interesting. A lot of people don't say that, but Rajon Rondo was such a big piece of what being a new age but yet old school point guard was in the mid 2000s, early 2010s, because Rajon Rondo was getting 10 points, 15 rebounds, and 19 assists on a Wednesday night, and he's a 6'2" point guard. It was insane. It was really insane. So, they call Terance Mann the stat stuffer, aka, that's just what he does. And, I really appreciate him saying that, his favorite player growing up was Rajon Rondo. You just don't hear that a lot. A lot of people say, oh, it's LeBron James, it's Kevin Durant, it's Kobe Bryant. A lot of people don't say Rajon Rondo. So I like that a lot. And Terance Mann's only 28 years old, younger than Bogey, from Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? You heard. And, he's just been a good player. And he's getting paid, pretty good for what he does, but he's still a value contract in my mind. He's getting paid this year $11.4 million, jumps up to 15.5 next season after that also 15.5, and then season after that 16 million. So he's under contract until 2028. So I think the Hawks are going to get a good thing out of this. I do think Terance Mann, at the very least, he's going to improve your culture for your team. Any rookies, like Zachary Risachet, I think is going to learn to defend even harder, by having Terance Mann be there. And I think at the end of the day, that's really all you can hope for, right? There probably was some sort of financial thing going on here. I think the Hawks just wanted to get off of Bogey. So trading Bogdan Bogdanovic is what they had to do. And, the Hawks, it seems like they were trying to do some sort of rebuilding, but they're not really rebuilding because they still have Trae Young. And, I think they really just got to commit. It's are you sticking with Trae Young? Or are you building for the future? What are you doing? Because they've just kind of been stuck in mediocrity for a while, and you got to figure out how to get out of that. So Terance Mann's a winning player. I hope he helps the Hawks. I think Atlanta deserves to have a good basketball team. They have good fans down there. So, it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. So I'm interested to see how Bogey, continues to develop with the Clippers over the course of the season too. But as always, I want to know what you guys think, man. So please leave some comments down below, especially if you're a Clippers fan, if you're a Hawks fan. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know what you think about what your teams did at the trade deadline. and how you think they're going to end up this season now that they've done these trades. So let me know, leave some comments, you know what it is. And as always, man, catch you guys with the next one. Stay safe, handle business, stand on business. Peace.